The United States has only 5% of the world's population, but has nearly 25% of its incarcerated population. Mass incarceration is a very pressing issue today in our country, one that affects millions of Americans. By educating ourselves, hopefully we can change the system. Today I'm going to be talking about what mass incarceration is, how did it happen, the impacts it has, and what we can do about it. So, what exactly is mass incarceration? There's not really a set definition for it, however it is kind of just refers to how the U.S. has locked up a large population in federal and state prisons, as well as local jails. So let's talk about how there are changes in our prison populations over the years. The ACLU states that in 1970, our incarcerated population has increased by 700%. That is 2.3 million people in jail and prison today, which far outpaces the population growth and crime rates. Let's talk about how we compare to other countries. The United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world, as well as the highest incarcerated population. In a report by the Prison Policy Initiative, they found that if you counted the U.S. states as individual countries and compared them to other countries, 23 U.S. states would have the highest incarceration rate in the world, even higher than the U.S. average. Even in our own state of Michigan, where our rate does fall lower than the U.S. average, our rates are still double that of our NATO allies. So, how exactly did this happen? First of all, we started sending more people to prison. In the tough on crime era in the 70s, we had the war on drugs, which more people were sent to prison and more police were arresting people for drug violations. Then we started sending people to prison for longer terms. And in the same tough on crime era, there was harsh sentencing laws put in place, such as mandatory minimum sentencing, which makes certain crimes you have to sentence them to this minimum number. You can't sentence them to any lower. Michelle Alexander, author, stated that before 1988, 1 year of imprisonment was the max for any drug possession of any amount. So, what are the impacts it has? First off, there's the racial impact. Today, people of color make up only 37% of our U.S. population, but 67% of the incarcerated population. Next, Black and Latino people are more likely to be sent to prison than their white counterparts. In a study from the Bureau of Justice Statistics in 2001, they said the lifetime likelihood for imprisonment for those born in 2001 is as follows. All men is 1 in 9, black men is 1 in 3, white men is 1 in 17, and Latino men is 1 in 6. For women, it's lower, but still significant. All women is 1 in 56, white men is 1 in 111, black women is 1 in 18, and Latino women is 1 in 45. Next is the impact it has on people. As I said before, 2.3 million Americans are incarcerated today. However, there are 4.9 million people who have been incarcerated previously. And these people have a very difficult time surviving in the world. The Brennan Center for Justice reported that 4.5 million Americans can't vote because of a conviction. They can't vote, they have trouble finding jobs, other employment, housing, education. The system's not set up for them to succeed, and so many people go back to jail. Then let's talk about those impacted. A study by FWD.US in Cornell University in 2018, they reported that 1 in 2 American adults has had a family member in jail or prison. So that's approximately 113 million people. Today alone, nearly 10 million Americans, including millions of children, have an immediate family member in jail or prison. Next is the amount of money we spend on the prison system. Our spending on jails and prisons reached $87 billion in 2015. which is an increase of 1,000% from 1975, from 7.4 billion. This can take money away from other things that need funding, such as schooling, mental health, substance abuse centers, other issues. So then let's talk about what can we do. We can contact lawmakers about changing the sentencing laws, because even though there's been reform, there's not enough. We can also talk about shifting resources into helping those with substance abuse, mental health issues, monetary issues, those who are poor or homeless. We need to invest in these systems so that less people are likely to be incarcerated. So let's talk about what we found out today. We found out what exactly mass incarceration is. We found out that the U.S. has the highest incarcerated population in the world. We found out that it's because of higher sentencing laws and sending more people to prison. We found out that it impacts racially, impacts on every people, directly millions of people in America. We found out about higher spending. Then we found out what we can do. And that's what we need to talk about. The most important part of today is talking to people you know, educating them, talking to your lawmakers about the impacts of mass incarceration. Thank you.